Hello and welcome to the OWXL League. It is Season 3, Week 3. We're on Dorado this week. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, and excited to bring this Challenger tier game to you. This is the first game of Week 3 between Mjolnir and Drunken Shimada clan. Mjolnir coming off a 2-0 win, I believe, last week against who's Legacy. Up now 1-1. Drunken Shimada clan falling to Squaw in a very close game of Week 1. I believe they'll be making up their Week 2 game. So coming to this game, looking for their first win of the season. I'm excited to bring this game to you, and both teams in the lobby are ready to go. So we won't delay any further. But again, if you're just joining us, the kind of format this year, or the season rather, is just a kind of a themed setup where each week every team from every tier will start on the same map. This week it is Dorado. So everybody will start here. We'll start there first. Loser of this game will pick the second round. It's the best 2 out of 3. Should they win that one, then the opposing team will pick the third map. But it looks like we are ready to start, so without delay, I'll get this game kicked off for you. We're headed to Dorado. Excited about this game. We haven't seen a lot of payloads so far, so cool to get a payload in this map here. Obviously, we'll get a lot of this map. And Dorado, I feel like out of the payload maps is not nearly as popular as some of the other ones from Watchpoint or even Route 66, so nice to get it in here and have an opportunity to see these teams start off on a payload. Definitely no draws on deck here, so let's see what they have for us. Interesting to note, Mjolnir adding V9 Gary, I believe, this past week, looking to boost their DPS department, so we'll see how he affects the shape of this comp. Otherwise, a lot of familiar faces. Get up on the high ground here. For the defense, Guild Capital looks like Symmetra, Rupture of Chaos on Reinhardt, Krondub's going Diva, V9 Gary on Symmetra, or on Sombra rather, I'm sorry. Diamond Dogs on Reaper, DHG, Pugs on Mercy. For the attackers, Graphic Sun, the acting captain tonight for Drunken Shimada clan in DSC, Drunken's absence. Graphic Sun on Diva, Xjux, Spurs on Orisa, Soundless Surrender on Moira, Black Sign HP, playing the support on Mercy, Rayquaza on Bastion, definitely something to look out for in Optimus 626, or rather 0626 on Tracer. Rayquaza came out on Junkertown, I believe it was week 1 against Squaw, and that was the second map in that game. They came back with Rayquaza on that Bastion, sitting on top of the payload, really melting the opponents, and found a lot of success there. So we'll see if we see a similar setup here from them. Obviously with the Orisa, they're looking to do that pirate ship and just power this through the first section, but we'll see what they have on deck for us. Rayquaza's actually doing that. Encourage Squad to do the same thing. Not quite as successful, bit of a trendsetter there. So we'll see if, obviously this Bastion's a very popular pick right now with this setup. We'll see if they're able to use it to their advantage. You see him on this payload already set up in that turret form, looking to power down the shield from Rapture of Chaos, doing successfully so far and getting that healing in high ground. Not really too much of an advantage for the attackers. They can't really poke outside the wall. A lot of that damage coming through from Bastion. But as the payload circles underneath, it will be Krondubs coming down on that Diva to try and disrupt the back line a little bit. The payload stops here as Diamond Dogs continues to contest here on Diva. Black Sign just keep trying to stay alive. Doing so unsuccessfully, trying to keep the team alive, and its kills going back and forth as now that healer's gone. That will be influential for them. Rayquaza's on Bastion gone as well, so they won't have that damage coming on top of the payload. Defense holding here well. Rapture of Chaos trying to maintain the healing and getting quite a bit of it from DSG Pugs on Mercy, doing a good job of keeping that tank alive, really plugging up this chokehold for the attackers. Rayquaza's back and back at it, looking to get a lot more damage in with that Bastion on the payload. Bit of obstructed now, sitting here behind it, maybe get some from the side, but again, I think it's the defense holding well. Soundless Surrender falls, Guild Capital getting the kill on the opposite support, and forcing the res from Black Scion on Mercy. Still for a pretty full squad, but I think that's the V9 Gary's EMP coming in very quickly here for the defenders, shutting down this attack, and they'll have to back off here. I think it's a good hold from the defense. Yeah, Mjolnir doing well so far. Obviously, in a difficult spot is Pugs and Rapture of Chaos both fall, getting the kill back on Optimus 0626. But the teleporter is up here from Guild Capital. It's a good pickup from that support, and we'll be able to get those tanks back in and continue plugging up this first checkpoint. 2 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock for them, and they'll be encouraged by this stocky defense so far. About 2 minutes gone, and about 2 minutes to go. coming to the second section, but now as Pugs falls once more, that will be a difficult loss for them. The Valkyrie from the other side means they will be severely disadvantaged in the healing department. The tank mode from Rayquaza tearing through these tanks, taking Rapture of Chaos and looking for another, is able to combine to pick up Geld Capital and will cap this point. Crondup's here on the Steva looking to maybe get back, is able to fly away and find some safety, but that's a good attack from the from DSC here, and now with 4 minutes and 10 seconds clock coming through this streets phase, or the second street phase. Now as the defense continues to set up here on the corner, actually sitting off to the side, not really blocking this payload whatsoever. Rapture of Chaos hiding behind the wall, but now the self-destruct coming out grabs a solid 2, and Optimus and Rayquaza gets Graphic Sun out of mech. That'll be really encouraging for the attackers, rather for the defenders. Who's Rapture of Chaos on this Reinhardt going, and you see him there with the hammer swinging in on Spurs, able to take him down and effectively ending this attack from them. Still 4 ults for the defenders to the 3 of the attack, and rather now 2 as Graphic Suns was just to get the mech back. But I think the defender's definitely in a better spot here. 3 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. They'll have to be smart about how they use their ultimates here. They definitely don't want to commit too many too quickly. They'll have 5 soon as Geld Capital comes up on a coalescence. But Rayquaza really needs to find a position back on the payload. He's getting bothered there by Mjolnir on the Sombra on the back, but able to find a better spot here and get back in and continue dealing damage. Crondup's defensive matrix will not last for long and does go out of mech there. The coalescence in from, I believe that's Soundless Surrender, will help the attack push a little bit further forward. You see the entire kill feed going for the attack, and DSC continues his push. Solid attack from them so far. Now the Death Blossom coming in, poorly timed here from Diamond Dogs, focused down by the entire team. Maybe we should have grouped up and maybe tried to combine a little bit better, maybe with Gary's EMP, but not aware of it, maybe didn't communicate it, and now looking to cap this point. Gary again on the back, trying to cause some problems, but can't contest the payload long enough with 6 of them there. Probably wise not to do so. He does cap there, and they've got 3 minutes and 47 seconds coming into the last section, and in a very good spot so far. Crondup's now answering back on the Bastion, like we see a lot of teams do here against DSC. We'll see if he's as successful. Not as much so as the Orisa shield from Spurs does protect Rayquaza. He is melted down there very quickly, and also rethink how they come to this point, or maybe work with the Reinhardt a little bit better to take him down. But now the defender's actually behind the payload as they continue to push here. The Mercy res, rather, from Black Scion, getting Rayquaza back up and alive on the point, has another res just in case they need it. But now as Geld Capital falls, the attackers completely uncontested coming into the final checkpoint. In a very good spot. Crondup's not so much so, half down on health as Rayquaza continue to push him down. The warning in from the announcer here, Diamond Dog's trying to do what he can, but again, singled out and focused down. Crondup's down as well. Rapture Chaos falls. This attack should be able to slide into the final checkpoint very easily. Geld Capital once again trying to contest it on the back, but it will not be enough. 2 minutes and 53 seconds on the clock. DSC completes the map. So an impressive attack here from DSC, able to cap that 3rd checkpoint with ease. Not really challenged too much, a little bit maybe bogged down on that very first choke point from the before the first checkpoint, but not able to really able to push through that defense once they got to the second section and had no problem getting through to the full map completion. So impressive from them. They're looking for, like I said, a strong attack here and a win after that very close squad game. I believe it went down to 99-99 overtime. 1-1 on the map, 1-1 in the game, very tight margins, and came out on the wrong side of that one. Looking to get the win here and off to a very good start on the attack on Dorado. Fjord Mjolnir coming out for their attack. It's Geld Capital looking on that Moira, Rapture of Chaos on Reinhardt. Crondup's going Diva, B9 Gary on Bastion this time, trying the same strat, maybe, but it'll be up to Rapture of Chaos to stay in a good position to make sure that Bastion's well protected. Diamond Dogs on McCree, TSG Pugs on Mercy once again. For the defenders, Graphic Sun on Diva, Spurs going Orisa, Soundless Surrender on Moira, Black Scion going McCree, Rayquaza on Soldier. Double hit scan, maybe anticipating the fair, but maybe not wanting to worry about it, just in case it does come out. Optimus. Switching off Tracer going Mercy, off the flexibility there. Good flexibility from this team. Black Scion obviously playing Mercy in the last round, able to go to DPS. Optimus, I believe, on Tracer. We'll switch around a little bit. Early pick here for the attackers. V9 Gary on the Bastion, getting a good pick on a res, forcing the res here early from Optimus 626. And now completely stuck as the payload. Gary, the only one on him, trying to push as much as possible. Crondub's helping him out here, but the defenders still have the high ground. A lot of them still alive, both supports included, both tanks trying to bring down damage, but the attack not really worried about it coming through this first checkpoint. Geld Capital taking down Black Zion and off to a good start. Yeah, Geld Capital just combining well with the team. You see the amount of feet, Pugs, Gary, Rapture Chaos all combining well to get kills on the feet. I like the team focus down here. You know, Gary adding one more in Rayquaza. They should be able to coast into the first checkpoint very easily. And answering right back with the Bastion strat. Gary completely in front of the shield here, not even worried about that Reinhardt protecting him, but doing just fine so far. 5 minutes and 24 seconds on the clock and a lightning fast first round for them coming into the second checkpoint. Looking to push back the attack. Rapture of Chaos finds Gravik Stun in a tough spot, trying to get him in the corner, but forces that D.Va back, and they'll continue this push. Crondub's over, forced out of mech as Rayquaza, switching now to Junkrat Falls, forcing the res here from Optimus as the Coalescence comes out from Soundless Surrender. We'll see if that slows them down, but now a counter Coalescence from Geld Capital looking to fight back as Gary goes in with the tank mode, able to pick up Black Zion, and now it's 2 picks for the attackers, looking to continue this push into the third section. The Shatter here from Rapture the Chaos, coming in and cleaning up. V9 Gary combining with him well, and that will effectively wipe this defense. We thought Drunken Shimada clan's attack was strong. Mjolnir showing they're not the only ones able to come back in here, and a lot of time on the clock, pushing really well and focusing the opponents down. I think V9 Gary was a fantastic add for them in the DPS department, but obviously the whole team combining here, focusing down their opponents. Black Zion right there behind Crondub's, not really noticing him there on the high ground. And looking to get out, but again, the attacker's still solvent. Rayquaza is the first to fall once more as Geld Capital is able to grab him from afar. Setting up again with Spurs' shield. It could be difficult, however, for them to really break through this push with Gary on the Bastion on fire there on your screen, and 60% to another ultimate. No defensive Bastion for DSC. I'm sure they hope they can power down the rest of these attackers. Gary now in a bad spot, getting healed well, but finally does fall here. Rayquaza, who's been the victim so often so far, but now kills swapping back either way. I think the payload will stop as this fight kind of breaks down. Very fantastic double there from Gravik Stun, grabbing Crondub's and Diamond Dogs to effectively end this push, and finally stopping the bleeding a little bit for the defenders, who are having a hard time repelling this attack up to this point. Still 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock here for the attackers. Mjolnir, they've got 5 ults and 1 on the way. Gary very close to another tank mode, with 4 ults from the defenders to contend with, including the Valkyrie from Optimus that could, both support ults that could help, again, stave off the attackers. But they have a lot of time, no reason to be hasty. We'll see how they attack this next engagement here. Anticipating their movement, the orb there from Soundless Surrender looking to drain a few, and so they lose the element of surprise. Now coming back onto the payload, Black Zion trying to make things difficult, does not have a ult, but maybe trying to bait out one of the support ults. Now it's Rayquaza coming in with the tire, taking down Gary. It's going back and forth as the res comes out from Rayquaza, but Optimus falls. So now still pretty even here on the point, both Coalescence coming out simultaneously once more as Crondub's in a difficult position on the tank, will get pushed out of the mech. Spurs in a fantastic spot, however, with the shield and looking to continue this defense. Gets a little low, but I think it will be another hold for the defenders. Late Valkyrie from Optimus. I think the fight was probably already won for the defense. Geld Capital is the only one remaining. It should be difficult to focus down that support. You see a few silhouettes there on the right hand side of your screen, but I think this is a hold for the defenders, and I think they'll be disappointed to have used that ultimate so kind of unnecessarily. But definitely time to earn another one. 2 minutes on the clock still for the attack, so I'm sure there'll be more than one team fight before that time runs out, unless they obviously cap this point. Now as the attack comes back in, they're looking to get that same backside entrance that they had before. Rapture of Chaos trying to block as much damage as possible. But again, the defenders have a lot of damage coming in and making it difficult for him to maintain that shield. Now it's Gary trying to initiate with the tank form, looking to get a couple kills, and the rest of the attack continues. The payload maybe starts to move a little bit as the defenders contest it somewhat. Not convincingly though, as Gravik Stun goes out of mech and Optimus falls. That'll be a difficult loss for them as now Soundless Surrender falls. That's both their supports as the rest of the members of this team fall. I think that'll be a successful attack here for Mjolnir. getting a team kill coming into the B checkpoint. Once again, Gary behind that Reinhardt shield, getting a lot of damage in. They may need to figure out a way to counter him because it's been an issue for them so far. And just like Rayquaza for DSC on their attack, Gary causing a lot of problems here. The problem is, I think, DSC, or Mjolnir rather, maybe handled Rayquaza a little bit better. DSC not doing the same with the opposite Bastion. Now another tank mode here from Gary. Looking to get a couple kills in. Orisa in a tough spot, combined down with Rapture of Chaos. The Death Blossom from Black Side will eventually end that ultimate, however, as V9 Gary falls, but the Coalescence coming back on that Reaper. Still pushing the payload, however, the attack in a relatively good position. Another Coalescence here coming out from that Soundless Surrender is able to pick up Pugs, who's had a difficult time staying alive, definitely getting focused down. But now, self-destruct from Crondubs grabs 2, takes Graphic Sun out of mech, and once again the attack continues to push. Payload rounding the corner. They need to complete the map with time on the clock. Looks like they're in a good position to do so. 2 minutes and 53 seconds for their opponents. They're looking to get this in with as much time as possible to continue their contention. Crondub's getting taken down there by its opposite, Graphic Sun Diva. And it's just a fight breaking out here at the last section. Pug's trying to get the res, but does so. Is able to get Crondubs, then goes into Valkyrie, picks up Rapture of Chaos, and now the attacker's in a better spot here to continue this engagement. But the defense not letting go with a short respawn, able to get into good positions. Diva trying to get back into mech. I believe Graphic Sun will be able to do so as Crondubs loses his. And again, time on the clock, but the defenders look like they're bolstered here. They're really digging in their heels, able to repel the attack. And now with 60 seconds on the clock, Mjolnir in a difficult position.
60 seconds remaining.
Time running out for the attackers, but they have 2 ultimates. Gary's tank form once more, and the Rapture of Chaos Shatter could combine well to take down a number of these DSC defenders. On the other side, the Supercharger combined with Black Side's Tactical Visor could be devastating for the attack. And with only 38 seconds, they don't have time to really deliberate. They'll definitely be in a time bank disadvantage should they actually cap the point, but obviously the amount declined before that. Timid around the point, Rapture of Chaos having a tough time deciding how exactly to engage, but now comes around, damage from onto his shield a little bit too much, but now the Coalescence coming in from behind, Soundless Surrender disrupting this attack before they're able to really even get going. They'll have to deal with that, but it's only 15 seconds on the clock, looking to come back in with the Tactical Visor from Black Side, going and tearing through the attackers. Geld Capital and Rapture of Chaos both fall, and now with 10 seconds on the clock, it's going to be really difficult for them to continue this contention. DSC defending very well as Crondubs falls out of mech and just tearing through the attackers. 1 second on the clock, nobody comes in for the overtime. That's a win. Drunken Shimada clan on Dorado.
Play of the game.
Soundless Surrender coming out with the Coalescence on Moira, just putting in work, melting down the supports, and knowing which targets to focus. Doing a really good job there, keeping the team alive and getting in on the attacking end as well. Helping Mjolnir attack, but not quite able to get on the winning side of things. DSC taking the first round. And we'll come back in and get the map pick from Mjolnir, and we'll be back. Welcome back to the OWXL League Season 3, Week 3. We're on Dorado this week. I'm your host, Sultan Pep, and we've got a Challenger tier game between Mjolnir and Drunken Shimada clan. Off to an exciting start as DSC capped the map on Dorado, able to get all 3 points there and defending well in the third checkpoint to hold Mjolnir to 2, taking the win and looking for the first win of the season here on Eichenwald. It's Mjolnir's pick, looking to get one back and take this to a third round. It is the best 2 out of 3, so in a good position so far, in pole position to win this game, DSC. We'll see what they have for us on this next map. It'll be a substitution, Big Widow Booty coming in for DHG Pugs for Mjolnir. So looking to change the shape of their comp just a little bit. Just want to make sure everybody's all square and ready to go, and we'll get started for you. It's been a good season so far, a lot of really exciting games, and I think if you have an opportunity, go back and check some of the VODs we have on the Twitch channel. We try and upload those to YouTube as well. Really exciting games from Week 1 and 2. Specifically the DSC squad game from Week 1 and the, I believe it was 7-fold and might have been outside or big throws from the champions here from Week 2. Just spectacular games, very tightly contested, and I think we're excited to have this level of competition in Season 3 of the OWXL. If you missed that announcement, we've officially been a league for over a year now. Earlier in January, hit that anniversary mark, so really appreciate everybody coming out and continue to play the games, be part of the league, and be supportive. Obviously, it's a lot of fun to be able to provide this content to you guys. So. But again, let me make sure we have the maps all squared away and the teams are ready to go, and I'll be right back with you. Don't go anywhere.
Traveling to Eichenwald.
So now on Eichenwald, the hybrid pick coming out from Mjolnir, looking to get the win here to tie it up and take it to the tie-breaking third round. Drunken Shimada clan again halfway to their first win of the season. Excited for this game to start. Mjolnir now on the attack first, looking to build their comp. It's already Rapture of Chaos again on Reinhardt coming out. Crondubs on Mercy, switching off the Diva we saw on Dorado. B9 Gary now going Widow. Again, that's a DPS ad for them this week, so excited to see what that Widow has for us. Diamond Dogs on Junkrat, Big Widow Booty. Also a substitute coming in here for DHG Pugs going Zarya, and that's a big ad as well. Rather just to this game. But has played Zarya and a number of other heroes very strongly throughout both the free agent scrimmages in the offseason and this season so far for Mjolnir. Guild Capital now on Moira. For the defenders, Graphic Sun on Orisa. Spurs going Soldier, Sunless Render on Widow as well. Black Scion on Anna. Rayquaza on Bastion, Optimus going Mercy once more.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective
Rayquaze is once again on the Bastion, looking to get damage in and making it very difficult for the attackers, getting Crondubs early after getting the res on Geld Capital, so now they have one support but not the one that won. Gary, however, getting the kill for the attackers on this opposite Soundless Surrender as Rayquaze falls but now gets res. It's difficult to tell who really has an advantage. I think Mjolnir has the main advantage, but obviously the spawn, or rather, TSC is the main advantage, but Mjolnir with the spawn advantage. We'll see how they continue to engage. Being on Gary trying to get as much damage as possible with that shield. Proves a little bit too much as Graphic Sun combines with the rest of the team to take him down. Now a pin here from Rapture of Chaos gets powered down by extra burst before Rayquaze gets fatally harmed. But now pulling off the choke, it could be difficult for them as they allow the attack a little bit of a crack through which to move. Black Zion the next to fall for the defenders as they galvanize here on the point. I think they will be okay though. They have the numbers and they're spreading out pretty well to continue this defense. The attackers a little timid in their approach, looking to try and engage now, but not doing so too aggressively. Rapture of Chaos coming in behind with that shield, but locking no one as the rest of his team's going around the other side of the building. They don't fall there, and it will be DSC wrapping up this first checkpoint. 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock for the attackers. A lot of time to work with, but no ults to speak of. Geld Capital, however, close that Coalescence, but 2 to deal with on the other side. The Valkyrie from Optimus and Rayquaze with the tank mode. Make it difficult for them to, again, break through this defense. It's been pretty strong so far. Shatter on the way for Rapture of Chaos, and it'll be a Junkrat Riptire from Diamond Dogs. As the attackers, Mjolnir here looks to engage, maybe another direction. Rapture of Chaos going around the back section there, looking to get a little bit of damage through. Unsuccessful so far, finds a shield wrapping around this left-hand side, does have the Shatter, could use it here if he finds an opportunity, but now it's the Coalescence from Geld Capital looking to engage. The Shatter still up here from Graphic Sun makes it difficult as the Tactical Visor comes out from Spurs, finds Rapture of Chaos, Sound Surrender falls, we're swapping either side, but still the defenders with the advantage. Rayquaze content to sit on the top and not really bothered by the damage coming through, but Crondub's able to get a good res on Gary, who's now switched to Genji and could be influential for them. Rayquaze with the tank mode looking to get damage through is able to pick up that newly res Gary wasted for them. And continues the attack. The defenders wrapping up the opposite Mercy Crondubs. Optimus falls as well, but again, I think they're in a good spot. Though as I say that, Vietnam Gary now coming through with the Dragon Blade, able to take Rayquaze and Geld Capital combining well. He gets one more on Spurs, and the only one to fall here. As Rapture of Chaos grabs another, the attackers start to earn some percentage on this point. They have a tick and looking for more. And when all hope was lost, I thought so at least. Gary coming through with the Dragon Blade, combining with the rest of his team, getting the kills they need to wrap up this point. 67 seconds on the clock, adding 2 minutes. Now we've got 3:30. A lot of time to work with. Ultimates for them, it's still the Shatter from Chaos on Reinhardt. Riptire from Diamond Dogs, Big Widow Booty now with the Crab in the mix. For the defense, Graphic Sun is a Supercharger. Black Zion with the Nano. Optimus with the Valkyrie, but already getting kills early. Rayquaze damage boosted, getting kills on Crondubs and Big Widow Booty. This attack will have to stall a little bit before they have really kind of progress with the payload through the second section. Tire coming out here. We'll see if it finds anybody. Haven't seen this just yet. Looking to be patient, try and find some good kills. Finally does pick up Graphic Sun, and the defenders start to fall. It's a 4v6, or rather a 3v6. As the attack continues to push, able to res 2 back, so but still disadvantage. They've got 5 to the attacker, 6, looking to get some kills. Geld Capital takes down Optimus out of Valkyrie, which will prove difficult for them. Still with the advantage, the attackers powering through. The Supercharger from Graphic Sun not enough as the Shatter comes in here. From Rapture of Chaos, able to grab a couple, and the defenders continue to fall as the attack pushed this payload across the bridge. 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock, in a good position. Gary close to another Dragon Blade that he used so effectively to wrap up the A checkpoint. The defenders coming back in and contest. It's Soundless Surrender now switching to Reaper, but without an ult to speak up, looking to get some damage. Will Wraith away and continue to stall, but it could be difficult. Tank form from Rayquaze make it caught up in the Graviton here from Big Widow Booty, but I think it actually was eaten by Graphic Sun, and that's a really good pickup for them. Could have made things very difficult. But now is Gary coming back in with the Dragon Blade regardless. The attackers continuing to get the kills. And the defense in a really tough spot. Res coming in for Chaos. The payload continues to push behind them, and with 3 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock, they're looking to push the C checkpoint. And not content to end the line there, they push up a little bit, but Big Widow Booty, unfortunate to get caught. Could be a res coming in perhaps for Crondubs. Actually, may not have it. And I think Big Widow will have a relatively short respawn to be able to come back in and join the team. They've got the time on the clock definitely, and it's been a good consistent push from them so far. Black Zion on the Reinhardt, now looking to contest with Rapture of Chaos, who's gone through and led this attack by himself pretty easily. The pin coming through, though, will go all the way back, and both Reinhardts will fall. That's difficult for them, but at least a little tip-for-tat. They'll have a shorter respawn on the defensive side, so could be advantaged. As they start to get the kills, Optimus getting the res and Silent Surrender. OWXL combining back as Diamond Dogs takes down that Mercy. A little back and forth, but once more, the defenders have a bit of a better advantage with the shorter respawn, so it'll be important for the rest of the attackers to kind of peel out while they have the opportunity. Silent Surrender with a very late Death Blossom, I think, for the defense, and again, could have saved that as well, but they still have the Valkyrie from Optimus, so maybe not too upset about it. They'll have the Shatter from Black Zion pretty soon. A few more ults on the way in the 70 to 80%. But the attackers on the other side, four to look at. Guild Capitals use the Coalescence pretty frequently. It's the Graviton coming up from Big Wood of Booty. We'll see if they can combine. It's B9 Gary looking to slice and dice in the back and clean up, but not able to do so. As Black Zion coming through with some aplomb, taking down immediately. The charge coming in will take a Big Wood of Booty, and it's a really good push from him, but will get powered down by these attackers. The Valkyrie now coming out from Optimus will res him back along with Silent Surrender. That Reinhardt continues to push here in the back. Grundubs falls and Diamond Dogs does as well. They're trying to push the payload a little bit, but definitely short in the numbers department as the defenders continue to swarm here and should power down the rest of these straggling attackers. Still some time to work with. 70 seconds or so, minutes 10 on the clock for Mjolnir in what's been a very solid attack for them so far. Looking to finish the job, but unsuccessful so far. It's been a very good defense from DSC, relatively speaking up at this point, and now with less than 60 seconds, they look to continue pushing. The Shadow, however, falls flat from, I think it's Black Zion trying to get through, but it doesn't matter for them. Graphics unable to grab two regardless with the self-destruct. Another two coming in from the defenders, and a late tire will grab two, but they don't have the damage to follow up, and it will still be a teamfight win here for DSC as the Red Cup res comes in through on Zenyatta. It's now 30 seconds to speak up. Definitely time to build an attack, but not so. Diamond Dogs falls as early as he did there. They'll want a solid 6 to come in for this next engagement. Look at their ultimates. Rapture of Chaos has the supercharger. We'll have it here relatively soon. Grundubs with another Valkyrie, and Gary very close to a Dragon Blade. And how Death Blossom could end it for them there. Gary looking to use that Dragon Blade, not able to do so, is able to grab two there. Grundubs adds another, or is able to add Grundubs adds another, and again, I don't know if they'll be able to get here for the contention. Now, as I say that, the defense still sitting very strongly, defending well, but it's just Guild Capital on Moira trying to contest as long as possible, waiting for the rest of the team to come back. The defenders start to power him down. The overtime meter will tick down. Now it's a Valkyrie coming in from Grundubs, looking to get the reses, is not able to do so. The overtime meter ticks down, and it's a very strong hold here for DSC on their defense. So like on Dorado, Mjolnir only able to pick up the 2 points, unable to complete the map, and look to now put up a strong defense as DSC in pole position again to win this game without any extra rounds. Push very strongly in one Dorado, which is obviously a straight payload map, so the biggest difficulty I think for DSC will be to push through this first defense. Mjolnir in the game against Squad did fall on Eichenwald, but I think DSC on Eichenwald fell to Squad. We're not able to push through those defenders, but we'll see if Mjolnir's in a bit of a different shape. How the Squad does defend hybrids very well, definitely control points in general. So DSC up against a different beast here. Mjolnir know that if they let go of this control point, the payload section could prove very difficult, and they definitely don't want to go down here in week 3 in a challenger tier that has a lot of very good contenders.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Now look at the comps for either side. For the attackers, DSC, Graphics on Diva, Spurs going Winston, Silent Surrender on Mercy, Black Zion on Junkrat, Rayquaza on Zenyatta, Optimus on Tracer. For the defenders, Guild Capital on Symmetra, Rapture of Chaos going Reinhardt. Crondups on Mercy, V9 Gary on Widow, looking to get the pick early that will shut down these attackers. Diamond Dogs on Torbjorn, Big Widow Booty on Roadhog. Spurs doing a good job of getting those turrets down early, but does fall as the defenders pick up 2 important kills on Optimus and the Winston, effectively ending that initial fight, and they'll take a little bit of positives from that. Obviously a long way to go, but now Sound Surrender caught in a very bad position, able to get picked by Big Widow Booty, and that is an impressive pull from them, and will make it incredibly difficult to continue this attack. Big Widow Booty on the tank. Played sorry in the first round. Doing well on Roadhog here, getting some kills. Quasix for the attackers, getting Black Sign back in the fight as Optimus grabs Diamond Dogs. They could have a bit of an advantage here coming to this next checkpoint, but now it's Crondups gets the res back on that fallen Torbjorn. Gary goes in on Black Sign, and again, I think it's the advantage for the defenders. Black Sign with the only one with an ultimate for the attackers so far, close behind Graphic Sun with, I believe it's a Diva Bomb. On the other side, ultimates all ready as Gary's used the infrared sight. Big Widow Booty and Crondups with all Skilled Capital very close to a teleporter that will again make it very difficult for the attackers coming in. Not able to break through this chokehold, but not really looking like they want to do so just yet. Maybe waiting to get another pick, but now as Optimus falls, again, a little bit complicated. They're disadvantaged, and they'll have to start using ult here to, if they want a good opportunity to break through this with some time on the clock. Yeah, just falling periodically. Saw extra Spurs fall to the turret from Diamond Dogs. Black Sign falls. Now the EMP coming in from Soundless Surrender will not be enough for the attackers. Combined with the self-destruct, will take out Crondups, and that could be helpful, but oh yeah, now starting to get maybe a couple kills. I'd rather the attackers get the kills they need. I don't know if that'll be enough for DSC, and Mjolnir, to their credit, definitely putting in a solid defense so far.
That's better.
Gary and Leslie not really messing around, trying to get a few of these kills, and once more the attackers from DSC repelled back to the spawn. A lot of positives again. 70 seconds on the clock here for the attack, and Mjolnir does not look like giving up this chokehold for anything. Not a tick on the point yet for the attack, but everything could change here very soon. Though not with Gary and the rest of the team combining that way. Diamond Dogs getting a good double, including taking him out of mech. Rickways is trying to get the res, but then falling here. And again, it doesn't look like Mjolnir will bend to this attack whatsoever. Bearing the sheath a little bit, but not a lot of bite for DSC as they continue to kind of stall a little bit. 40 seconds on the clock, and they'll really have to start making a decision about engaging this point if they want to have an opportunity to equal the push from Mjolnir. Spurs able to get a little bit of damage there on the Roadhog, but nothing quite sticking as Big Widow Booty is able to evade. Maybe contesting the point a little bit, that it starts to build somewhat, but I think the attack may be privy to it, halfway gone, and maybe not. As I think with Soundless Surrender gets a tick here for the attackers. They'll take a little bit away from that, but they need to cap the point and get all 3 points if they want to have an opportunity to win this round. Now the overtime meter ticks down. It starts to fall. I don't believe there's any members of Drunken Shimada clan close to the point. Mjolnir take the second map, and we have a game in our hands.
Play of the game.
Gary going in here on the first round on Genji, able to clean up, and this was the point at which I thought the point was lost, but able to go in anyway, get a good double kill and push the fight in his team's favor. Mjolnir wrapping up well there. To force the third round, and yeah, I'm excited. We'll see what the map pick is from Drunken Shimada clan, and we'll be right back. And now all to play for in the third round. Mjolnir and DSC from the Challenger tier, and not disappointing whatsoever, the first map, or the first game of Week 3 of OWXL Season 3 on Dorado. All tied up here going to the third round. DSC on Dorado, capping very strongly on the first attack, defending well, and holding Mjolnir to 2 points, take the first game. However, Mjolnir coming back on Iconwall, attacking first, pushing almost to the final checkpoint, not quite, but performing the full hold on Dorado. Or rather, on DSC, on Iconwall, getting the win there. So now Route 66 is the pick from DSC. And taking the positives from the first payload map, Dorado looking to get the win here. Looks there's no additional substitutions coming through. Get that started without delay. Do like Route 66. I know I was talking earlier about not seeing a lot of payload maps so far, and now we get 2 in the same game, so lucky us. Route 66, definitely a good one. A lot of high ground opportunities, and I think a different map than Dorado. Dorado has quite a bit of high ground in the second section, but the third one can be a little difficult. Not that it doesn't, but it just winds in on itself and can be rather challenging. Route 66, different animal. See how both of these teams handle that challenge. But I'll get the readies from both sides, and I'll be back with you shortly. Alright, thank you for your patience. Now we're back on Route 66. All tied up here. Drunken, Shimada Clan and Mjolnir playing for wins in Week 3. Tied up 1-1 here after exciting games in Dorado and Eichenwald. No substitutions for either side, so we'll get the same comps we had on the last one, rather the same players. Again, all to play for. I will say, the last season with the map draft, it required us to... I feel like we only had to play 3 games, actually play 3 games. Like less than half the time. A lot of the games are 2-0. We're getting a good blend here, as a lot of these games have gone 3 with that losing team from the first round, able to pick the second map and create a little bit of intrigue in these third games. I really enjoyed being able to cast these tightly contested games. And really just the level of competition between the tiers in this season's been a little bit better than Season 2. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch. For the defenders, Drunken Shimada clan coming out Graphic Sun on Ana. Spurs going to Reza, Soundless Surrender on Widow. Black Zion on McCree, Rayquaza on Bastion. We saw Dorado trying to get in on the payload and cause a lot of damage. Was very successful in the first round, earning them that win, at least helping his team get to that point.
Doesn't feel right coming back here.
Optimus on Mercy. For the attackers, Guild Capital on Mercy. I guess Rayquaza won't be sitting on the payload and attacking from the defensive side, but Guild Capital now on Mercy. Rapture of Chaos on Diva, Crondubs going Ana, Vinangary on Tracer, Diamond Dogs on Junkrat, Big Widow Booty on Widow. Soundless Surrender looking to get a little bit in early, not having too much success, and now retreating behind the safety of the shield. Looking for maybe somebody coming in over the top of the Tracer in the back. Vinangary looking to cause some problems early. Caught quickly, and now it could be a bit of a battle that rages on throughout the game, but as the defense continues to hold its high ground, Master of Chaos, the first to fall, combined well. You see all the assists there and the feed for the defenders. Rayquaza's powering him down. Attackers continuing to push over, the payload moving. But now as Black Zion comes in on McCree, looks to contest. Rayquaza finds a better position and should continue melting down the rest of the attack. Rez comes in from Optimus, able to get the pickup on Spurs, but falls as a result. Guild Capital and Big Widow Booty combining well to pick up a few, and actually in a position where the attackers look like they could be in trouble, coming back trying to get some of these kills. Though maybe it looked like they were in trouble because they actually were in trouble. The fight kind of breaking out all over the place, not really confined too well. The payload completely abandoned, 2 attackers near it. But looking to continue getting that damage in. They definitely have the numbers advantage. I think it's just Soundless Surrender remaining on the Widow. They finally continue to push the payload as the attackers, or rather defenders, start to stream in off the high ground. Pushed immediately, Big Widow Booty looking to get a little bit of, cause a little bit of problems. He's using the Primal Rage to continue pushing it back as his team behind him caps his payload.
No one can hide on my side.
Soundless Surrender using the infrared, trying to get a few picks. Rayquaza now falling here for the defenders as Diamond Dogs continues to help the attack push this payload. No one really contesting it whatsoever. They'll cap this very easily as the defense is preoccupied. 4 minutes and 46 seconds on the clock, nothing to sneeze at as Mjolnir continues to push in through the second section. Doing a really good job so far. Vinangary getting Soundless Surrender. Crondubs picking up that opposite support. Optimus, and now Spurs falling. It's going all red for Mjolnir in the kill feed as to continue this attack. After falling in the first round, definitely taking a lot of positives from this initial attack, getting that first checkpoint so easily now with a lot of time to work with. Moving into the second phase. Mjolnir galvanizing well, kind of finding the rhythm and looking to win this game. See if DSC has a response for them. None so far, as now it's Mjolnir getting the kills. Big Widow Booty getting one there, grabbing another on Soundless Surrender. The payload continues to push behind them very peacefully as the attack again, or rather defense again preoccupied here by the checkpoint, falling periodically. As Vinangary and Crondubs continue to combine, and this attack from Mjolnir is relentless in powering down these defenders. And I really think that DSC needs to group up a little bit here. They could find themselves in a very deep hole for their attack. Trapped a little bit, the Primal Rage coming in from Big Widow Booty is only a distraction as the attackers will continue to cap. They have 5 minutes and 4 seconds on the clock, and DSC is reeling at this point. Definitely on their heels, but 3 ults to work with. Soundless Surrender now switching to Zarya, maybe trying to gum up the works for this attack that's flowed so smoothly up to this point. Big Widow Booty not worried about it though, powering down Graphic Sun, getting the health from his Mercy there, Guild Capital, and again, just every member of Mjolnir playing at a really high level at this point. Optimus getting into the action, getting a kill there on Diamond Dogs after the Junkrat took down Spurs. But Mjolnir once again continuing to push, and I don't know if Drunken Shimada clan really has an answer for all the questions they're asking.
I'm here.
Continuing to push the self-destruct now coming in, maybe just going to mech back for Rapture of Chaos. Doesn't quite connect. Big Widow Booty will clean it regardless. Now the tire coming in from Rayquaza could find one rather and help stop this relentless attack. Black Zion, however, will do it and take matters to his own hands, taking Rapture of Chaos out of mech, ulting there, grabbing additional 2. Guild Capital going into the Resist, however, able to reverse that damage entirely. The attack continues to push the defense, looking for a way to stop them once more. Optimus falling, that'll be disadvantaged here for DSC as they continue this push. The Supercharger coming in, but taken down immediately via the Diamond Dog mine. Black Cyan, the only one in the DPS farm trying to answer back for DSC. The rest of his team falling around him. V9 Gary gets the headshot on him. Rapture of Chaos taking down Graphic Sun. And now as a Valkyrie does come out for the defenders, they may be able to repel this attack, albeit somewhat. Looks like it's just Rapture of Chaos out of mech, and what's been a very strong attack for Mjolnir so far will finally be stalled here. 3 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock, and they're not far away, but definitely not grouped up either, so hopefully they'll find each other, get a good attack going forward, and finish out this map. Ooh, missing 2 crucial shots there. Gary not quite able to find Optimus, and that would have been a huge pick coming to this final engagement, or what could be the final engagement should that Mercy have fallen. But now the infrared coming out will make it a little bit easier. But the Bastion here on the defense, Rayquaza now again looking to get that damage through, switching off the Junkrat. Graphics on falling for the defenders, forcing the res early, and Optimus won't have that for the next few seconds. Interesting that now this attack will stop, not quite as strong from them. Big would have been falling on Orisa early, and without that shield will be difficult. This Rayquaza here powering down the attackers in the Graviton on the high ground, and yeah, make no mistake, definitely looking for that Graviton, doing well, and able to clean up very well.
Enchanting your damage.
It's like a tire now coming in from Diamond Dogs, maybe looking to get a kill. Not quite sure exactly where that is just yet. Maybe focus down if it's really connected. Now as the attack continues to push, again stall, they have a lot of time coming to this third section, but it's been a good defense from DSC so far. Bit of an Ana battle here in the back, Black Cyan once again just popping off with those death blossoms, able to grab a couple, and that will really bolster DSC as they're able to completely end that team fight as Graphic Sun also picks up Crondubs. So now with a minute 30, it's looking maybe a little more dire, but they definitely still have time. Mjolnir, that is. Graphic Sun with a nano could boost Rayquaza on the tank form as Optimus can continue healing, maybe providing a damage boost. For the attackers, Go Capital here on your screen with another Valkyrie as well. Rapture of Chaos maybe trying to get in with the self-destruct. Rapture of Chaos picking up the kill on Black Cyan earlier that could be helpful for them, but again, it's not quite as tight of an attack from Mjolnir that we've seen from them in the first 2 sections. So hopefully they, again, group up and find a way to break down this DSC defense. It's found a bit of a spine.
60 seconds
Rayquaza still up on the high ground, looking to get a lot of damage through, maybe able to heal himself enough, but maybe not quite. The self-destruct comes through, is able to grab 2. Optimus first both fall. Rayquaza down with that nano in the tank form, looking to cause some damage here in the back. Dealing with this difficult shield from Big Wood Booty, and definitely a combination to that Orisa for finding the ways to get around the space. Crondub's the only victim from that ultimate as the attack continues to get a few kills. V9 Gary now in the Genji picking up Graphic Sun. And the res is from Guild Capital, helping to keep the attack alive. And now with 25 seconds on the clock, definitely getting into a better position. Rayquaza's res there, but able to get powered down by this Valkyrie and Guild Capital. And again, the payload continues to push. The defenders streaming back in. They do have a shorter respawn. There's not a lot of time for the attack, but it's been a good push so far from Mjolnir. An equally good defense. But now the Graviton grabs a couple here for the defenders in a very good spot. V9 Gary, as soon as it ends, going off on that drag blade, looking to get a couple kills. The defenders getting the attackers getting some kills, and the defenders answering right back. I don't think anybody's on the payload as it starts to tick down. Looks like the defense will wrap up here. And again, what looked like a very solid attack from Mjolnir. Falls a little bit flat. They're able to get a good push, but only 2 points. DSC, again, looking to take this game with all 3.
score. 2-2. Switching sides.
So again, solid push from Mjolnir. Looked very strong from them and stalled out a little bit there at the back. But still a lot of ground to pick up for DSC if they want to take anything away from this game. Winning the first round, reeling a little bit. It was a payload map on Dorado. And then coming back on Eichenwald, not quite able to equal the distance by Mjolnir. And ran into a bit of an issue, but no point to cap here. And again, they know they have a stronger payload push if Dorado is anything to use a metric. So See if that attack can break through the stingy Mjolnir defense.
For optimal chance of survival, stay in range of my barriers.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I'll have my eye on you, Omnic.
And I will watch your back in
Welcome
turn.
to the gun show.
Sometimes I'm not sure why I even bother.
Try not to get yourselves killed out there.
Your guardian angel. I have my eye on you.
Put the attack now graphics on your screen. That's Zarya. Spurs once again going to Orisa. Sound Surrender on Widow. Black Zion on Soldier. Rayquaza on Zenyatta. Optimus on Mercy. For the defenders, Geld Capital on Mercy. Rapture of Chaos on Orisa. Crondub's now going Zenyatta. Gary on Genji once more. Diamond Dogs on Reaper. Some solid ultimates in that last round. Big Widow Booty now on Zarya. The defenders holding this kind of tight tunnel section is a bit unique. We see a lot of defenses on top of big girls, but opting for this position, it may benefit from it. Already getting the kills early on Rayquaza, and that's the support down for the attackers. Res immediately forcing that, but now the res coming off the other side as well. Really the kills going either side, but I think it is the 3 falling here for the attack. In a tough spot, and will have to maybe back off this next engagement. Or continue fighting in and around the payload with a shorter respawn. What's up to them. Now as Diamond Dogs falls, it could be in a better position, and maybe I spoke too soon. Continuing this payload push, and just a few more members of Mjolnir to focus down before they continue wrapping around the corner. Now finally set up on the payload. They don't have a bash, but they do have Spurs with that shield blocking the rest of the team, getting in a good position. Now the tactical visor coming out from Black Zion finds Crondubs looking for more. Res immediately there from Geld Capital will offset Black Zion. Shows it doesn't quite matter, grabbing the Helix Rocket on Gary to take him down. And in a good position again, 3.26 meters away from the checkpoint and continuing to power down the rest of the defense. But they start to answer back as Optimus falls on the side of DOC, and that will make it difficult for them to continue this engagement. They've got a healer and 2 tanks for the defense, and not a problem for DOC, able to power through Rapture Chaos following Diamond Dogs as well. The contention still continuing to come in, but the Dragon Blade from Gary may effectively end it. The res comes in on Rapture of Chaos, and the attackers continue to push. Definitely not winning in the numbers department now as they start to interact. It just looks like DOC wasn't able to power them down as quickly as they should have. Now a minute 45 seconds on the clock for DSC. Mjolnir putting up a very strong defense up to this point. They don't have very far to go, but it could get a little dicey for them if they don't do something here quickly. The supercharger coming out from Spurs will do just that. Graphics on in behind, looking to get a little bit of damage. The payload starts to creep forward a little bit before the defense continues their contention. Now the Transcendence coming in here from Crondubs just to keep everybody on the defense alive as they start to lose a few members. But now the Death Blossom coming in here from Diamond Dogs once again grabs 1, but res immediately back. Black Zion coming back into the fold as Black Surrender falls. Spurs falls again and again. Mjolnir continuing a really solid defense. A bit of a late Transcendence here from Rayquaza, but able to keep the rest of the defenders alive as the Valkyrie's still up here from Optimus. The Graviton, however, could shut them down, stop them in their tracks as Geld Capital trying to get the kill on Optimus. Looks like a lot of red bodies here on the point. Is Graviton the only one to really remain and continue contesting. Rayquaza to Zenyatta in a difficult spot and is no match for Big Widow Booty with a 60 charge. And now even, yeah, going to be really difficult for even Sound Surrender to really get a lot of progress. Time really working against DSC here. They start out so well getting the cap on Dorado, and now falling the previous one game and in a position to fall here if they're not able to continue their attack. 30 seconds on the clock and backs up against the wall. They'll have to start really changing the shape of their team. I do wonder how effective the Widow is here. I've got she's seen on stream, so hard to tell. But now Bina and Gary making it difficult for them. Black Sun and Optimus both falling, and that Dragon Blade effectively shredding through the hopes and dreams of Mjolnir, or rather of TSC trying to get back into this attack. And again, the entire kill feed going red for Mjolnir. They've really come back into this game and look very solid. Time ticking down, 5 seconds left on the clock for DSC. They've got no one close to the point as this defense continues to just tear straight through them. No overtime meter to be found. Mjolnir getting the win there and wrapping up this game in week 3.
Play of the
Sound the Surrender from Mjolnir there with a couple solid grabs from this attack from them. And we powered them down once more, and that was the strong defensive play we expect to see. But a solid game all throughout, and difficult for Drunken Shimada clan to come out on the bottom end of that after playing so well on the first round. But Mjolnir showing they have the fight, coming back into the game and taking Route 66. So we'll take a quick break and come back with some final thoughts and a post game and look ahead for both of these teams. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So two back-to-back 2-0 victories from Mjolnir sees them win this game against Drunken Shimada clan in week 3. Excited to have brought it to you. DSC definitely looked very strong in that Dorado attack. Mjolnir coming right back and showing that you don't have to cap the map to put up a solid defense, holding Dorado to exactly 0 points over the last two, Eichenwald and Bruce 66. And I like how this challenger tier is shaping up. It's been a lot of good games so far. DSC once again involved on the kind of wrong side of a 2-1 defeat, so they're still looking for their first win. Mjolnir coming into week 4 2-1. Speaking of week 4, week 4 for both of these sides. Challenger tier, it'll be Mjolnir against Squaw. That should be a fantastic matchup. Squaw, again, one of the strong teams in this tier, so excited to see that. Drunken Clan faces Ryan's Rejects, who coming off, I believe, 2 difficult defeats in week 1 and 2, looking to answer back. Drunken Clan looking to do the same. But for the remainder of this week in the rival tier, so far the game schedule, we've got Winky Face against Positive Toxicity. Former teammates facing off against each other. Winky Face has a couple, and Positive Toxicity also a couple from the tier 3-4 winning Brick Squad from Season 2. That should be a fantastic match. That'll be tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's the 17th, tomorrow night. Looking ahead in week 3 again. Challenger tier Sunday, another game scheduled Squaw versus Making Plays. If you want to see the preview, Squaw against Mjolnir. For week 4, definitely get a look at that team. I saw there Sunday on the 21st at 9 p.m. I believe that's Eastern. 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. Games will be scheduled throughout the week, so make sure you're on the website OWXL.com and tab over to schedules. You can get those as soon as we have them from the teams. They look to schedule those a little flexibly, so be flexible with us. You can also get into our Discord. There's a link on the website, and have all the information immediately. Stay up to date with exciting things. We've got some stuff planning on the horizon, so definitely make sure you are on the Discord channel so you're aware of all that cool stuff coming through. Additionally, if you want to check out any of the games from week 2 or week 1, those are on the Twitch channel archived for you. A lot of fantastic games over there, so if you can't get enough OWXL action, more stuff for you there. Also, shout out to our additional commentators, Hickory87 over on Mixer, has some content for you as well. SNK Rewinds on Twitch also has some videos, so definitely have a lot of games on stream this season so far. So a lot of content for you guys to check out. But I think that will do it for us, rather for me. And for Mjolnir DSC, for OWXL, the Challenger tier, I'm Salt and Pepper, and we'll see you next time.